As talks are stalled between North Korea and the U.S. and tensions between the two are seemingly on the rise, Russia and China have reportedly asked the UN Security Council to ease sanctions on North Korea. But the U.S. is keeping its hardline stance, saying it's not yet time to consider sanctions relief. Our Lee Kyung-eun starts us off.
Beijing and Moscow submitted a draft resolution to United Nations Security Council on Monday, calling for an easing of sanctions on North Korea. The two countries have been pushing for this since Pyongyang pledged to work toward denuclearization last year, but it is the first time they have actually taken action. The new draft proposes lifting the ban on exports of seafood and textiles, as well as North Koreans working abroad. North Koreans are currently banned from working overseas, and UN members have until next week to repatriate North Korean workers under a previous UN resolution. Russia and China's draft also suggests removing sanctions on inter-Korean rail and road cooperation projects. The two Koreas have held a symbolic groundbreaking ceremony for the inter-Korean rail and road projects, but have made no further progress due to sanctions on all inter-Korean projects, which prohibit the transfer of related equipment and parts. All of the above used to serve as the reclusive regime's key route to earn foreign currency, and experts say that China and Russia are attempting to keep the door open through easing sanctions. However, the two countries say it is rather of a humanitarian nature, citing the importance of the livelihood of North Korean civilians. They had also previously suggested a roadmap for sanctions relief last Wednesday when they said sanctions are not an end in itself, but a means to achieve an end, and they only aggravate the humanitarian crisis in the north. For the new resolution to be implemented, it needs the support of 9 of the 15 Security Council members and must avoid being vetoed by one of the 5 permanent members. Bloomberg reports that the members are likely to review the draft on Tuesday, but the chances of being actually passed are very unlikely. Amid the continuing deadlock in denuclearization talks and military provocations by the North, the U.S. is maintaining its hardline stance, with the State Department saying it is not the time to consider sanctions relief. And as Britain and France, who also have veto power, are likely to follow the U.S. lead, the future of the resolution largely depends on Washington. Lee Kyung-eun, Arirang News.